In a precision chassis, like the XRS chassis, do you need to bed the action in some way, meaning float it out? You know, I had this question put to me recently by a viewer here on YouTube. Yeah, we moved again. On the face of it, the question may seem a little silly. In fact, for the more snobbish of you gun people out there, the more pretentious gatekeeper types, you're gonna say it's a downright silly question. I submit there are no silly questions. It's a very valid question. The question was, do you need to bed the action on the XRS chassis, on a rifle chassis like this? Do you need to bed the action? This is actually an excellent question for people who want to learn. And while I admit I may be a rifle snob, I am not, in fact, an information snob. Nor am I a learner snob or a newbie snob. I think people who are learning about firearms, accuracy, precision shooting should always be given the utmost respect and the best information you can without snorts of derision and deriding. Bedding in action, what is that exactly? In the past, traditional rifles like this style, this is Remington Model 700 in an HS Precision stock, standard stock. To get the utmost accuracy out of a rifle like this, if it's a wood stock, fiberglass, or whatever, traditionally in the past you had to pillar bed them, or V-block bed them, or glass bed them. Bedding basically means creating a smooth, clean, seamless, and unwavering surface between where the action mates up to the interface, which is the stock, right? So to make that channel as clean, smooth, and consistent as possible, you can either put pillars in here, so you can pillar bed it, so that when you cinch it down, everything is riding, the action is riding smooth, clean, and true, and is not affected by the stock in a negative way so far as accuracy goes. Stock manufacturing in the past has been, and in some cases, a little inconsistent. If you look at the cheap plastic crap that's out there right now, those are the type of stocks that you can't actually bed, but some of them will have like little aluminum pillars in them and stuff like that. The stock is the user interface with the rifle to the action for the bullet in the barrel. So as consistent and clean and solid as that lockup or that made up is here is possible, the more accuracy you're gonna get out of it. So in the past, you either had to use pillar bedding, V-block bedding, so putting an actual block down inside the stock here that mates up perfectly to the action when torqued down to proper spec, or you would have to use glass bedding. Glass bedding is a little bit of a complicated process to basically using fiberglass in a liquid form to build a channel for that action to ride in perfectly to where it's a nice, clean, even channel with consistency when it's torqued down, so that there's no wobble or crack or warp or deformation or shift, and it just sits in there nice and smooth and clean and perfectly. So there's 1.5 million videos out there on action bedding, what it is and how to do it. I'm not going to cover that specifically, I'm just going to answer the question. In a precision chassis, like the XRS chassis, do you need to bed the action in some way? Meaning float it out. You know, get that fiberglass in there and float it out. The short answer, no. Why is that? Well, if you just think about the concept of bedding, the entire concept of bedding an action into a stock is just to smooth it out, to make even contact with the action all the way down the length of the barrel, or the action channel within the stock at proper torque spec. A chassis, like the XRS chassis, is actually already built to provide that solid bedding block. This whole thing is the bedding block to the receiver of the rifle with the action screws. So you already have it built in. That's what it's made for. That's why chassis are such a major upgrade to a rifle, because you can skip the bedding process of trying to bed out a stock like this, whether fiberglass or wood or whatever. You can skip that entire process and instantly add the accuracy upgrade that bedding does do, the accuracy potential that bedding gives you in a rifle. You instantly add that by just putting it in a chassis. In a lot of ways, the chassis is like the easy button for precision rifles. It is the user-friendly version of action bedding. You just put it in there, torque it down to proper spec, and you have a bedded action with a free-floating barrel. That was another key point to bedding actions into a stock, is that typically there would be a barrel inlet, inletting after the fact, to make your barrel free float. So the barrel is actually free from any pressure of the stock in the interface of the user, free from pressure or slap or anything like that, giving the barrel harmonics a chance to work more uniformly. In precision rifles, building them or shooting them, consistency and uniformity are where your accuracy lies. So to the fellow tuber out there that asked the question, thank you for that question. It is an excellent question. So the shortest answer I can give, if you want the accuracy potential of a bedded stock without the fuss of having to do it, put it in chassis. That solves the entire problem for you so far as adjustability, weight distribution, free floating channels, and accessorization, which is important. Thank you for joining me again. More content coming soon. I've got to get this situation sorted out and up to par because it is crazy in here right now. But I'll catch you guys again soon.